Hi, it's Anne. Thanks for stopping by. I was playing around with folding some paper the other day and came up with an idea that actually it's for a tag, a simple tag, but I've not seen this idea anyplace else. That doesn't mean it's not out there. So again, please don't give me credit for an original idea because it's so simple. I would actually be astonished if others had not also come up with it. But anyway, it was a fun little discovery for me, and I just thought you might enjoy doing this yourself. This is for a tag. Pardon me, I'm rummaging for my tearing ruler in the drawer next to me. This is for a tag that you actually fold. It has a built-in tab top, and because it opens up, you have lots of extra journaling space on the inside. So it's sort of like a little folder tag all in one. Let's just get started making one because I think you're going to find a lot of use for this. What I did was starting here is I found I had a couple of scrapbook paper, lightweight scrapbook paper offcuts. These were both double-sided papers, and so I put just glued the strips onto a piece of coffee dyed paper. So we have a nice long strip. This one is 11 inches long. This one is 12 inches long. And let's just go ahead and tear this off so that we have a nice backed piece of scrapbook paper. And we have a couple of different ways we're going to make this. So I'm going to make the easy one out of the scrapbook paper first. And then we're going to look at ways we can use some index cards and also some book page and make these with a slightly different orientation. And we're going to play with ways to decorate the top, all of that fun stuff. You know, you just can never use too many tags in your junk journal life, and they when you have added extra journaling space, that just makes them all the more useful, doesn't it? So, okay, here is our strip of scrapbook paper that's back with coffee dyed paper. I have scored in the middle. It's not necessary, but I just think with scrapbook paper, it does tend to fold. You know, you've compressed those fibers a little bit more, and it just folds a little more easily. Let's do the same to this one. You can see where I've got that score mark right there in the middle. I think I left my bone folder somewhere on the other side of the room. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a little tab top here, and I'm going to go through both thicknesses. This is going to be our writing space for our tag, but we're going to create a little tab pull at the top just by cutting. So I'm going to get out my zero gravity ruler, and I'm going to, there's my center, and I'm going to make the tab beat just about this deep. And I think I'm going to come out about 3/4 of an inch either side of center. And I'm going to leave the center part intact, but I'm going to cut this part away. So you can see I'm going to cut out this part and this part. So you see that little shape shaping up? Pull out my handy craft knife, and I'm going to come just to this spot, leave this all intact, and from this spot to the end. Cut this part out, and again I'm going through both thicknesses. If it's easier for you to use scissors, do so. It looks like my knife didn't go all the way through both thicknesses. So I'm gonna do a little corrective surgery there. Yeah, you can see this is happening right before your eyes. So this is a fast and easy project. There we go. This is the structure of it. I'm going to take my corner rounder and get the bottom there. Looks like that didn't quite grab all the way. There we go. There we are. And because I want the shoulders not looking quite so powerful, this is not Designing Women era shoulder pads. I've been watching lots of Designing Women reruns on Prime Video lately. For some reason, it just popped into my my Prime feed, and I look at that and I think, wow, it's kind of a fun show. I kind of enjoyed Designing Women back in the day, and those sharp shoulders here made me think of the shoulder pads of the girls at Sugar Bakers. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in another fold here because I want this whole thing to open like this. Does that make sense? In other words, I don't want it to open all the way like that. I want to glue this shut. So I will glue this shut thusly. And that way you've got a nice stable tab here. Now, if you're worried about this getting too, detracting from the stability of your opening, there are ways that we can mitigate that. I'm going to show you on another model in just a moment, though, how we can do that. For now, we're just going to assume that this is going to be our tab, or our tag with the built-in tab. I just think it's cute and useful. How are we going to decorate it? Well, we're going to start with the distressing, you know that. And I think there's lots of kind of fun things that you can actually do. With the top of this tag. So it becomes a little bit more of a feature. There we go. I could put some plain paper here on the back and paste that here if I wanted to create additional journaling space, of course. So that way you'd have 3. But I'm just going to stick with the 2 for now. And what would be good to put on the outside of this one? I think I'm going to start by actually putting a punch with an eyelet there, because I kind of like all the little dots on this paper, and I think adding another little circle there in the top might be a good idea. Let me mark what I think is going to be about the middle there. And let's just put this eyelet in here and get that smushed down. Not necessary. Not necessary at all. But I always keep my punch handy, so I like to use it. What about if I put a little bit of muslin through here? Might be kind of cute. Keep this nice and simple. You don't need any additional grabbiness here. You can just leave that by itself. But I just felt like adding a little bit of visual interest here, particularly since this tag isn't terribly deep. Well, and fumble fingers here. There we go. And what about, I was thinking about using one of my playing card frames. Here, what do we think of that? Should I put a little book page behind it? Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's go with this. I'll have kind of a straight tear top and bottom and jaggedy on the side, a little bit of Italian there. We don't know who this fine lady is, but that's a picture I got out of an old college yearbook from the 1960s. I've used that several times before. It was a treasure to find that old college yearbook. I actually ran across a college yearbook from the 1930s. Maybe it was even the 20s. It was antique the other day at the thrift store, but I almost got it because the pictures would have been really great to use, but it was a little on the expensive side even for a thrift store. So I thought, no, part of my joy in thrift store shopping is getting the real deals. And sometimes I'm not afraid to leave things behind. If I gulp a little bit at the price, that tells me something. Let's see, this little, oh, here's an extra one underneath here. I didn't realize I had two. I could put Mae West on there. I didn't even realize I had these. You saw me make both of these. I like this one. I like the little touch of red with our professor there. Yes, I like this. I think I'm going to need slightly stronger glue. Oh, that was the back. That was the back of that photo. I'm celebrating the lady. All due respect to the gentleman there, but I look back at those old photos and I always wonder what were the women's lives like. So sorry here, Professor Fellow. We're gonna have her here. Oh yeah, I do like this. Look at this cute tag. And I can go back and add a little bit of stamping or something in there to finish it off. And if when I get to writing in this, if I decide I need more room, just put a little, I'll just glue a little bit of blank paper on the back. Let's do another one. This one is a little bit longer. I'm going to start by doing the bottom corners. And here's my ruler. Find my center point. This is a Tim Holtz product. And I misused it. I used it as a straight edge with my knife one time, and I literally cut a little bit away. So it's not as good of a straight edge as it would have been before I used it improperly. That was totally my fault. But if you're looking for a handy ruler, the centering ruler is super handy. I think I'm going to make this tab just a little bit deeper. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. There we go. So again, we're going to cut out this part and this part, leave this fold in place. Get out the metal ruler. And a little bit of slicing, and a little bit of slicing. I'm going to come in with my scissors instead this time. Come right down to that point. Did I get that straight? A little bit off. There we go. I think that's better. Now, well, there we go, right in front of me. This is a really busy scrapbook paper. So if I put something on it that kind of calmed everything down, that would probably be a good thing. But for some reason, I want to see how this works. I want to put in a paper clip up here on that tab. I want to just glue that on there. Yeah, I think that looks nice. This is I think Julie Torrens sent this to me. I don't have any colored paper clips except those that Julie sent to me, but occasionally I will take my silver paper clips or safety pins and change their color with an alcohol marker. That works really well too. There's that. And let's glue these. You certainly do not have to glue the layers of this tab together. I just like it like that. There we go. I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue and make sure this is as flat as it is. But I think that green, I don't know what made me think that green paper clip would be good laid on its side. But I somehow thought it was. Little strand of glue there. And that's gonna hold that 3-in-1 glue. Also marketed under the names Fabri-Tac and Fabri-Fix. That's gonna hold that little metal bit in place. Now I think I'm gonna round off these power shoulders. And I have no idea what I want to put on the front. I have a bunch of scraps over here. This might be kind of nice. I want it rough though. It's a little piece of embossed cardstock. It's been lightly inked. I had sitting around in some of my card making stuff because I'm starting to think about making Christmas cards too, but that's a different subject. What might be good there? I feel like I pull this. Nope, that's the wrong style. I feel like I pulled that flower. It's going to be a very exciting day when I actually use this flower. I feel like I try it on different things all the time. And it always gets put back in the tin. I like that on that, but this is the wrong thing to have in between it. What might go here? There's not a lot of contrast there, but I'm kind of liking that. Anyway, nope, that's too busy. I think I like that stripe. Sometimes just a a little something different in terms of the pattern. You know, busy advertising stuff, something floral. This kind of menswear stripe is kind of nice. The color is not very contrasty, but I think it needs a little bit of book page. I do. Here's this little, yeah, why don't I just put a little bit of this there, this little piece of this Italian page. Yep, I think that's going to work. I don't know why. Isn't it funny when you're putting collages and things together and you just respond positively to some things and not others, and it doesn't really matter why. You know, I think you're just almost always well served just to follow your instincts when you're putting the embellishments on something. I do love putting my own things together. I know there's many digital kits that have, you know, like those little cards that you can cut out, mini scrapbook packs have those too. You'll go through the big stack, and then there's one piece that has all these little cards that you can just kind of cut apart and put on a card front or something like that. Those never work for me. They just kind of rub me the wrong way. And this is me being quirky and opinionated, I know, but you know, that's all right. We're all entitled to be quirky and opinionated. I just kind of like being able to make my own little assembly when I'm decorating the front of a journal, front of a tag or a card. Yep, that is going to be fine. A little bit of art glitter glue here. In case you don't know art glitter glue, art glitter is the brand of this fast drying white craft glue. It is beloved by crafters everywhere. Should almost be time to be looking to get your winter supply of art glitter glue, which has no glitter at all in it. Because I know many folks won't, suppliers won't ship art glitter glue in the winter time. So as we're getting into fall, you might want to stock up for the winter. And I can see that makes sense. You know, there, you know, might well be some environs where if your Amazon package was sitting on your front porch on a 3 below zero sort of day, and it was out there for 8 hours while you were at work, you could come home to a frozen mess that would coagulate improperly. There we go. And there is that inside journaling space. Needs a little bit of stamping, but I'm gonna do the edges here. Wouldn't this be cute to find in a journal? Let's look and see how it looks in one of these pockets. And then we're gonna do another one folded the other way. There we go. Well, get it to slide in. That just looks cute. I just think this is just it's an interesting shape here, and it's interesting to have that embellished there with just a little bit of metal too. All right, so there are those two. Now let's make one more out of a book page, because we've used our scrapbook paper. I'd like to use a book page as well. And in preparation for this, I took this piece of a cookbook and just backed it with some coffee dyed paper. And I'm going to make a tall, skinny, I did not score this. I'm going to make a tall, skinny card. And this is going to be one we're going to put into a side tuck. We're pretty much bound with having to have the tab here on this left side because it needs to be where the spine is. So it's not going to be able to go, you know, unless you had it upside down, you know, in something where you pull it out with your right hand. We need to have the action focused on the left-hand side for the spine. But, you know, that's okay. That's a small accommodation to make. Let's see how tall we want this little dude to be. So our tab is going to be here. So this is going to be, yeah, that's a little bit tall. I think I'm going to cut this down to 7 inches or so. Oh, exciting news. I did get a new craft mat. I just haven't put it out here on my work surface yet. So I decided to, September's my birthday month, and I decided to get myself a new craft mat for my birthday. So that excitement is coming. Aren't you thrilled? Oh, just getting so worn out. But yeah, this gets a lot of work. So it's entitled to feel a little worn out. All right, let me trim this up here on this side, lining my ruler up to the lines I can barely see. There we go. Now we need to make our cutout here. So this is going to be tall and skinny, but that can fit nicely. It can fit into a pocket like this, or it can fit into a side tuck, which is what I'm thinking of. We're going to follow the same exact process, finding the center. Actually, you know, you could make a tab up this way like you would on a file folder. I think I'm going to keep it in the middle though. So there's the 0, and to use this ruler, you just, because the 0's in the middle, you just line it up equally on either side. So it looks like about 3.5 there on either side. And here's my middle point. And I think I'm going to come out an inch this way and an inch this way. And make my, no, I don't need the, I'm trying to avoid drawing along that area that I messed up the integrity of the straight edge. I didn't ruin the ruler to the point where it's unusable though, so I can't justify 86ing the whole thing. Here and here. Xing that out, it's just kind of handy to make sure you don't accidentally cut through this part. Although there's a way to get around that too, and we'll do that before we leave. This one, and if you have one of those kinds of trimmers where you can sink the blade down in and make a partial cut on a piece of paper, you might feel very comfortable using that. I have nothing so fancy here at the Shea Kenlin. There we go. Going to fold that. Now, here's where I'd like to show you a little bit of a different technique. I'm going to do just like I did before, and I'm going to glue down that fold over tab. But because that is stable there, this is kind of a long area to be open. So what I have done, as I've been playing around with this before, when I have, particularly on a vertical, when it's a vertical spine that we're opening our little flip up tag, I like to just reinforce that split and give it some stability. was tough paper. This must have been an Amazon package scrap. And I'm just going to reinforce that here. And that's not going to impede anything in as far as the fold goes. We'll just fold that little patch. But, and you could use washi tape. You could use fabric tape. That'd be pretty. But I just decided to use a little piece of brown paper there. And then just use your thumb to kind of create another fold. Go back in with a little, that glue stick didn't seem to work very well. There might have been a little bit of a surface treatment on that scrap, which might make it resist the glue stick a little bit. I'll erase here. And with this one, because we can get at all of our corners, I don't have to do the manual trimming off. There we go. And somebody's upstairs in the kitchen. It's either Dan or Maureen, our daughter. I don't know who's up there at the moment. There we go. This is cute. And, you know, I'm not going to decorate this because I have one more piece that I want to get to. But I just think this would be super cute with, you know, maybe some kind of brown paper there. And because this is a recipe book, maybe, you know, a bunch of carrots or something like that. Let's set that aside and let's talk about how we can make the same kind of tag with two separate pieces of paper. In this case, I have some coffee dyed index cards. I've been using these a lot lately. And I'm going to put the two together. Well, first, I'm just going to do my markings on the top one. And these are 4 by 6. Yeah, they're 4 by 6. So here's my center point, and I'm going to come out to here and come out to here. And down to here and down to here. The grid on this makes it very easy. Stack these together, and I feel like it might be easiest. I feel like I won't have slipping and sliding if I can hold here, and the grid again makes it easy. I'm just going to cut out my little pieces here. And here. Here we go. Now we have two separate pieces here, don't we? Well, that's never stopped us before. Actually, I kind of like this one to be on the top. It's a little more intensely dyed. And I just create the fold there, just along that line. And just like we do with the other ones, only difference is they're all the way apart to begin with. Easily glued together, just like this. So if you have some index cards or some smaller pieces of cardstock that you'd like to use, you do not need to start with a larger piece or a long strip. You can just make the join in this little tab area right from the get-go. And we'll do the shoulders. The reason I'm doing that manually is it's hard to get the corner rounder into on this corner because this is a bit of an impediment. There we go. Let me see how we're doing time-wise. Yeah, I think we're going to leave it there, I say, as I keep on going. Maybe this is something where I need brown on brown. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly finish this up, I think. This is a piece of lunch paper bag. But I'm not cutting very straight. This is lunch bag that I crumpled up, smoothed out, and rubbed with Distress ink. You've seen that technique a lot. It's really handy to have pieces like this around. This one is a lot thinner than the others because it's just the one thickness, but it's sturdy enough, you know. It is going to hold up to your writing your thoughts, dreams, and desires on the inside. And can go in and out of a pocket, or as this one would do, in a side tuck. I'm doing this with some nervousness because I have no idea what I'm going to put on top of it. So let me avoid that problem by coming back and doing something a little bit different in the top. I'm going to do two little holes, maybe not quite so little holes. And I'm not going to do eyelets here. I haven't tried this one yet, but I thought this might be kind of fun, is to do a little knot in the top here, because I have just this little scrap of torn muslin that was supposed to be coffee dyed. I should use those dental floss threaders, shouldn't I? I've put them away. I tried coffee dyeing this. Coffee dye didn't turn out too well on the muslin. Cotton sometimes dyes well and sometimes does not. I don't like to add a whole lot of bulk at the top, but that's there. That looks kind of cute. What could go on top? Oh no, not this one. Not this one again. No. Do you know what? This might be kind of cute. That looks like a bowl of soup. I'm going to put a bowl of soup on there. I just had a bowl of soup for lunch. So perhaps I am still savoring how good that was. It was white beans and shredded kale and some sliced sausage and a bunch of pepper and onions. It was a very, very good late summer soup. There we go. I had no idea what was going to go on the front of that, but I think it looks super cute. So look at us. We got several little interesting tags done that have a built-in tab and extra journal space. There you go. I hope you enjoy making these, guys. See you next time. Bye.